Robin.
Brooke Shields. How are you, Brooke?
Hi, Brooke. How are you? You look great.
Thank you.
I think she's becoming our friend.
Yes.
You're our friend now.
Yeah.
I'm a friend.
Yes, if you've done the show twice, you become a friend.
And if you drink red wine,
You remember that?
crack of dawn.
Remember that?
You're really. Oh, I remember that.
That's when
I was trying to be cool.
That's when I knew you were cool, because it was homemade wine from Vinny's
His uncle Gino.
His uncle
from
Gino's.
Jersey Shore, right?
We have not seen them since.
No, and Brooke just.
And it was like in the basement. They made it in the basement.
Yeah, it's not good stuff.
How bad was it? Now that they're not here.
It was ripe.
It was right.
Very ripe.
Did you drink it to be polite or because it was getting you where you needed to go fast?
That's why. So it's all about that.
Yeah.
It's just getting a good bump.
Yeah, homemade wine does that.
Well, really?
It gets you loaded quick.
Well, you didn't. It was very syrupy. But I remember thinking, all right, this is it. You either have the, what's or not. So
you're being polite, but she hated the wine, and she's just a very nice person.
We all hated the wine. That's the point.
it was warm.
It was just I don't know.
Fermented, but it was I was honored to have been brought into the fold.
Yeah, by drinking. But that really is awful. We have an A-list celebrity come in, and we give her this idiot's wine. This foul stuff he carried in his pocket.
But then I'm thinking, wow, Brooke's cool, because most would say no with the wine. I'm not here to drink his shitty wine.
Are you doing TV today too, or are you just doing radio?
TV, I did. I'm going to do The View.
Why do so many people hate doing radio? Like, because you could do any show you want to do, but like a lot of people don't like doing in the general thing of radio.
Well, I wonder why. I like the format. Actually, I feel like there's a freedom to it.
Right.
I think there's a freedom to it, and I actually respect it as a medium because I think it's endured.
Right.
And I don't know. I didn't know people didn't like
Some
it.
people don't. I think a lot
Maybe
of.
Is it just personal?
It probably is. It's probably they just hate doing this
personal.
particular show because they have to sit where you're sitting.
There's a lot of celebrities that blow off radio and go right to TV. A lot.
But
it's such a it's a different type of intimacy with people. You know what I mean? Like I think people wake up with it. They live with it, and and I think they get to have their own independent sort of relationship with it. So that's why
And you could take your time with it. You know what I mean? We haven't even started the interview yet, but she's on the air hanging with us.
It is.
No, I'm serious though. It's not like, okay, go. What are you working on? And
3 minutes and then a clip and then you're done and then the commercial.
Right. It's less formatted in that way.
Or say it that way, which is much better.
the confines are different.
Right.
How's that?
People really do get a weird relationship with you in radio because they're listening every day and it's a soap opera and they know so much about you because you got to fill 4 hours, so they learn everything.
But they also can create a visual that they choose. Do you know what I mean? They get to have their own independent relationship with you because you're not sitting watching somebody and then that person is seeing the same person.
Right.
So they can envision whatever they want, and I think it's more intimate in a weird way.
Do you attract? I think for a woman it's harder because especially a beautiful woman, a model. Do you attract kind of a weird, eclectic group of fans? Like, I'm sure you have nice people that like you, and then the creepy ones you're like, ugh, I have to shake your hand.
Get out the Purell. I've been around for so long that the scope and the age range is sort of staggering.
Really?
So it's it's grandparents, and there's this little kid, like a little Broadway kid, just yesterday, and she was like, I know you, and I thought you're 6. How the hell do you know? Like, and it's it wasn't Hannah Montana or you know what I mean. It's there's definitely I have an eclectic, and also there's people that have like grown up with me, and they've got the whatever it is with Blue Lagoon or whatever that world. And then so it's different.
But how did that kid know you?
She saw the Tonys. She watched the Tonys.
Oh wow!
And she was and I heard her talking to her mom, and it was one of those like very stage mother. You have that tap class tomorrow, and you have this, and I never lived in that era of I wasn't on stage when I was a kid,
right?
But it was definitely like the professional mom, and the kid recognized, and I was really. I didn't know if I was sad about it or if it was like I wanted her. She was too young to know about the Tonys.
And speaking of kids, I read recently you don't want your kids in showbiz, right?
I can't be a hypocrite. Like it's one of those things where I love what I do so much, but it's also a business that is it's all about rejection, and it's all about not being good enough, and it's all about someone getting there first, and you're always not tall enough, not short enough, not blonde enough, not young enough, not old enough. Like there's something about it, and I would love them to not feel that rejection.
Do you get used to it after a while? Like, are you comfortable? Like, I mean, now you probably don't get a lot of it.
Get used to it.
I don't think you ever get used to it, and especially
matter
if
who
you're
you
an
are.
entertainer,
Right.
At your heart, you want approval all the time, you know, whether it's you're a comedian, you want to be funny, or you want that, like, there's this validation that no matter where you are, I don't think you ever feel like you get it.
And can I point out what a phony I am? I just asked Brooke Shields, like, do you ever get used to rejection? Like, I don't know the answer to that. Of course you do. I've adapted.
No, I don't know if you get used to it, though. I think you start to go, oh, I get it. I'm going to go over there then. Go where you're wanted. Like, I mean, that's my career has been go where I'm wanted, because when television's cold to me, I'm lucky enough to be able to go, okay, I'm going to go over here, or I'll write a book, or I refuse to allow myself to feel rejected, but you feel it.
I've gotten used to a certain level of it, like where I understand a lot of it comes for me, not as much as stand up with other vehicles. But you're right, you can always go and do something else. I didn't think of that, but yeah,
you're used to it though.
Oh, I expect it, but maybe that's what comics are like. But yeah, I just automatically expect it.
I don't know if anyone would get used to rejection.
You know how to handle it after a while.
That's a rough feeling.
I'm surprised when they don't. That's where I'm at. I'm surprised when they don't.
But is that a defense mechanism?
Oh, yeah, probably.
I think that's
sure.
like, because you don't really, I think what happens is it used to be where if I was in a room full of people and there was one person that I felt I hadn't won over or didn't like me, I would focus on that person.
Right.
And that I've stopped doing.
And getting back to the kid thing, it's one thing to feel rejection yourself. I'm finally a parent. My kid's 13 months old. Oh. I can't imagine going through him being rejected.
You'd want to kill, like you.
Right.
It's all of a sudden irrational to you. Like that is, and my older one, she used to go and on the playground, and I'd see her walk up to kids and be like, "You want to play with me?" And they'd say no, and she'd go, "Okay." And she'd say, "You want to play with me?" No. And I would watch her just get rejected on there, and then she would just dance around her, fine, like, you know what I mean? And you kind of went like, "Wow, that's resilience." I don't,
because she's going, "F you, my mom's Brooke Shields."
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, they're starting to.
Do they understand how this whole thing works?
It started a little bit at school because some of the fourth graders or it's like second grade and then fourth graders gave my older one a hard time, and they said something like, "Your mom's famous," and she answered back with something and I didn't know what it was, and then I asked the teacher, and her answer was, "She's not just famous." And I was like, that's so cool.
It's a good answer.
6-year-old. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just, so I'm not as worried. But it definitely, they're now starting to, but now if you have something that precedes you, like going into Broadway or going into the Addams Family, that now is bigger than my just being famous.
Right.
So they're able to focus on that. And they'll be like, my mom's going to go into the Addams Family. You should go. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a thing
gotcha.
It's less about their mom and more about, I don't know, it separates it a little bit.
Who are you replacing, by the way?
BB North.
I'm not familiar with Broadway.
You know her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you saw her
and,
face.
Wasn't she also on Cheers?
She was on Cheers,
and she's a real...
And Frasier.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I would know her if I saw her.
Yeah, you would absolutely know her.
Consummate, and Broadway, did Chicago for she's one of the only people I think to play both Velma and Roxy. And she's been at it. She's the.
Are you excited?
I am. I got the dress is really hard to navigate, and the wig is a bit. And doing a show. I've been doing shows now for years, and not being 28 doing a show, and you're doing 8 a week. I can feel it now. You're sort of like, wow, it's a tough one.
Oh, that's her. Okay, yeah, I don't recognize her.
You pretty much got to get in shape to do Broadway, I would imagine.
It's like being an athlete. It's definitely
right. You got to learn how to pace yourself and find some kind of rhythm.
And you have to live like an athlete, too.
You know what? I think I might have to see the Addams Family.
I definitely want to see it now. I had never seen a musical, and then I saw Book of Mormon a couple of times.
We both went.
Oh, you did?
I enjoyed it. So I'm like, now I would see. When I first heard about the Addams Family, I didn't want to see it, but now it's still around. It's not like a quick run, it's still here, so it must be good because it's been
what?
around.
It's like it's an iconic. It spans such a long period of time from the original television show, which was like in the 50s, and then you've got the movies with Angelica Houston and Raul Julia, and that became sort of iconic in its own way. And now this is it's when you. I have to say I understand what you mean because you think, oh, it's for. People are going to come and see it in the summer, but it's a very, very beautifully crafted show, and it's funny and it's very wry.
Is it hard
dark.
walking into one like with a cast that's already established too, where like you're the new person
and
in the cast?
You're the new kid. Like
right.
you have to. There's a lot of respect though that I have for all the performers, and you realize more than in any other medium how much you need each other.
Who else is in that?
Roger Reese is replaced Nathan Lane, and so it's the two of us.
Okay.
And you'd recognize him too, and he's a thespian, and he's just a lovely energy, and it's good. You get asked to play Morticia, and
you have to say yes, right?
You say yes.
Of course. Have you done one yet?
I haven't, and I haven't even done it with the whole cast.
Okay.
And I've been in rehearsals, and today is one of the first days I get to be on stage with other actors.
When do you actually, like if people, you can get tickets, Addams Family Musical, it's 2 Ds, AddamsFamilyMusical.com. When will you actually be on the stage?
My first show is Tuesday.
Oh, wow, it's coming up.
Around the
Okay.
corner now.
Yeah. My first show.
So, how long have you been rehearsing?
2 weeks. This is our 3rd week.
Oh, okay. So
which is actually longer than I've ever been given for a show, because they're rewriting some of the book and some of the choreography. They're changing it, and they're also preparing the tour. So they're rewriting some of the book. The book is like the script.
Okay.
So it's like books, lyrics, and then choreography, and they've added, we've sort of finessed it a little bit, and so it feels new. It feels like it's going to be new.
So when you walk out onto the stage, you have to like pause because people are going to applaud when they first see you.
Well, this entrance for the actual Addams family, because we're the unit with Pugsley and Wednesday and Lurch, and it's such a showcase. Like a house crashes down, and it's one of the best orchestrations of an entrance, and so basically you're begging for the applause. there's no way around it.
Yes, so it doesn't come as humiliating.
Yes,
it kind of
exactly.
it has to show up.
Do you know the
That's all. Yeah, the two.
Imagine
the two snaps.
she can't get that right.
I'm like, God, she's really good, but she can't.
She just doesn't know how to snap correctly.
Yeah, she snaps out of tune like a second after everybody else.
Just a little bit later.
Oops.
Are you happy when you see, I can't say happy, but you see someone like Spider-Man, which is so much, and it's been such a mess so far, and it's got to make you feel better about the show you're doing. Like, well, nobody wants to go see that because it's a disaster waiting to happen. So at least this
The weird thing
is
is everyone
working.
does want to see
Oh, do you think
I
it's a
think
disaster?
now-
Yeah, it's a weird thing going on with that.
It's like a car accident. It's like big, but I haven't seen it.
They reworked the whole thing, and they're trying again now.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if it'll ever make back its money, but it's almost, I can't imagine.
80 million, I think, is what it's in the hole. A promoter I talked to recently told me they would have to be sold out until sometime at the end of 2012 or 2013, every show.
Just to break even.
Wow.
It's not good.
That's a shame, because a lot of hard work went into it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But it's fun. I went to go see the Addams Family and with my older daughter, and the minute the orchestra starts, the audience snaps. Like it's part of Americana. It's like a part of people's psyche, and so you're like, oh, you know what? This is a hit.
Hey, I got to go to Bobby in New York. Bobby, we got Brooke Shields in studio. She's going to be doing Addams Family. What's up, buddy?
I actually, when I found out she was doing Addams Family, I'm a big fan of Addams Family. I bought 5 tickets for me and my family to go front row, actually.
Oh, goodness.
Just because of you on Opie and Anthony, because your rapport with them is really, really good.
Yeah, when Jimmy started talking about Brooke Shields and you guys met doing Furry Vengeance, and Jimmy's like, yeah, she wants to come in. I'm like, no way does Brooke Shields want to come in and hang with us.
We had so much
I guess you had a
fun.
weird, maybe it's a reputation. I just thought this would be above you or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Beneath, you meant to say.
I'm not beneath. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes.
That was the subtle slip of a megalomaniac.
No, you're
It's so above you.
I'm like, she's
Well,
not gonna want it.
thank you for buying the tickets.
Yeah, Bobby's going to be in the front row.
Bob's going to be in the front row, and there's an orchestra pit, which is always special. A lot of shows I've done, we haven't had a pit. The orchestra's been behind us, so it's always a treat. wait for the...
The orchestra pit is you can actually see the orchestra.
You can see the orchestra, yeah, and they're all in the pit, and they're all playing, and it's being conducted from what's called the pit.
How many weeks you got to do?
I'm through the summer, and I guess if I do a good job, or if I don't get booed off the stage, then.
No,
Have you ever gotten bad reviews in theater? Like, I mean, I know that it's not like you have one moment in a theater. They come to see you one night.
Yeah,
with a movie, you can redo it in takes, but with one night, they come to see you, and that's your whole review.
And they never give you a chance, especially with me. Like, they never give me a chance to sort of get into the run, and then sort of give me the benefit of the doubt. It's always, I try. That's the one area that I try really not to get hurt by it, just because you have to go do it again that night, and you can't go in there with your tail between your legs.
Do you even pay attention to reviews at this point in your career?
I can't, because if you, I remember reading once that if you believe the good, then you have to believe the bad, or if you believe the bad, then you have to believe, it's definitely, I feel like people feel the need to critique in and everybody's got an opinion, and the only thing that I can do is do it 8 shows a week. You do it 8 times a week, and just that alone, I'm proud to survive. So. Have
you bumped into any critics who have given you like a bad, or anybody who has bad mouthed you publicly? And I imagine you run in some of the same circles.
I don't think they make it a point to talk to me.
Right.
I think, but I just, and again, it's like, because the thing that you have to know is that each person that bought a ticket, or 5, like Bob.
Good old Bobby.
It could be for his family, or we have a lot of fat listeners. It could just be Bob alone.
It's one of the listeners that will behave. You never know.
But each one of those people, they've spent a good amount of money on that ticket. Yeah. And Broadway in particular, especially in this day. And you have to do that show for them. And they've either, it's a destination, it's a gift, it's an anniversary, it's a big deal to go to theater, and you have to do it for every single one of those people, and that's what gets you past bad reviews.
It really is fun, though. I can't believe how much I enjoyed a musical. Like, I definitely will go. I'm not being polite either. I will absolutely go see this, because I'm like, oh, that's why people like coming to a Broadway show. I never got it. And then I saw a musical I liked. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a lot of fun, man. I would definitely do this again.
And musicals are their own sort of breed. I mean, I've been getting to see a lot of straight plays, too. And, the commitment that I just saw Jerusalem the night before last, and I was mesmerized. I was absolutely
Everyone's saying that.
Awe.
Is it a drama or a musical?
It's a drama, and there's 2 intermissions, and it's
wow.
But I was in such awe. I was the only one in the theater in my mind. It was all done for me.
How long is it?
It's 2.5, almost 3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and you don't know it. It goes by very quickly. But I think just that there are a few things in the industry that are still about just hard work, and you don't and talent, but you don't get rewarded for bad behavior in theater. You know, it's not celebrated. It's everybody's in there. You sign a call board. You're one of a cast of however many, and you have to work your ass off. Like you just, and that's, I think that's why I have such respect for it.
Leave the ego at the door.
Exactly.
Well, do you know what? On a movie though, like I think they'll tolerate a lot of shit on a movie that they wouldn't tolerate on a live stage, because you wreck the entire performance for everybody if you're not prepared on a stage.
Right.
And if you're, you don't get to show up late. You don't get to not come out of your dressing room, or you don't get to, you do your own makeup. You do your, I mean, I have a wig, so I don't do my own hair, but someone does that. You do your own. It's like we're like gypsies. You're in a troupe.
It's kind of like going back to earlier days where before, you were very famous and it's like bare bones. Everybody kind of does their own shit. There's a bunch of you go.
If you don't show up, there's someone else who's ready and waiting and prepared.
Hey, do you even have a memory of not being famous? Because you pretty much hit when you were 12, I guess, right?
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
I
do you even have a memory of walking around like just being
anonymous?
No, and I think that's in a way it was a helpful thing, because I've seen young people who don't have any fame, and then in one movie or 1 year they become absolutely more famous than they could handle, and they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
I never knew what it was like to not be recognized.
Right.
So in a way it was never a big deal.
Right. Okay.
You know, and there's a certain level of access that the media has always had to my life. And as sick as that is, you sort of go, oh, you know, okay. I don't feel so violated because I know now how to navigate my privacy and keep it without it being threatened.
I saw you once. I had a whole. No, it's not bad. I had a holy shit moment because we're lucky enough to talk to a lot of celebrities, but you're one. You know, you're in the. You know, you're an A-list or whatever. I'm having a juice in the neighborhood at a vegetable juice place that I like going to, and I'm just hanging out at the counter looking out on the sidewalk, and all of a sudden I look up and there's your face through the window. I'm like, holy shit, that's Brooke Shields.
Was it Liquiteria?
No. Juice Generation.
Oh, Juice Generation.
So I see. Yeah. So,
has she been on yet or no?
No.
Okay.
And it took me back like, holy crap. And you were, I think you were going to a little yoga place or something.
I've tried.
I have a mat or
you look like you were dressed for yoga. Let's just put it that way. And I just had that moment with myself, like, holy shit, that's Brooke Shields. I don't know what this means.
No, but I never know. I approach people if they're out with their children or whatever. I'll always walk up and go hi. And I just try to take a picture with them. It's creepy.
No, I mean, you know.
That guy?
I am. Well, I got her at the cellar years ago. You had stopped in to see Colin, and I got her popping out of the cellar. I just happened to stand by the door, and she was very nice to everybody.
Timmy likes his pictures. You're a fan of comedy, obviously.
I'm a fan of comedy.
Stand up?
Yeah, you know, and my husband is, he was like one of those guys that would just sell the jokes, you know, and he went to business school just so that he could get to New York, and then he was born here, but then he was raised all over. And, you know, all those guys, like just.
Wait, he would sell the jokes when he was a writer?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. He sold like Jim Carrey a joke for like $50 or something like that. You know, and it's like you hear those stories and you're like, I used to go see Adam Sandler all the time and Chris Rock. You know, like those guys, I just would, we'd go in on a Wednesday night or we'd go to Caroline's or we'd go to whatever with my friends. And
what is this? Because you're on the other end that we're on. Like all the Tracy has gotten in trouble, and you know people say stupid things. And when you're in this world of everything you say is scrutinized, and then any special interest group comes to you and goes, "Look, this bothers us. We want you to do this, this, and this." Is the motivation normally because you're afraid of? You think people are afraid that everything's going to be taken away if they don't do it exactly as whatever special interest group it is asks them to do it? Like you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of. But what's the?
Like what is the counterbalance to that? Like how do you counter that? Whatever the instance is, doesn't even have to be his instance. When they're pressuring you, they say, well, you've done something that bothers us, and you might not feel like you have. What is the counterbalance to that?
You know, I think that you've got to be you have to be so diplomatic because you don't want to sell out entirely.
Right.
You don't want to go against what you really feel. And yet you have to sort of take into account that you now, as a public figure, there is a certain responsibility, not to play by the rules, but to at least be responsible for what you say. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say, well, this is the way I feel, because unfortunately you're given a lot of opportunity by being in that position. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think I'm sort of talking in circles, but
no, not really. No,
I totally got it.
It's a delicate place to be, and it's very political. You
kind of got to be a politician.
I was going to say, it's very political. And you know, I understand people saying, well, this is it. But you're in a position now, you've been given a lot of opportunity and money, and you're reaping the benefits of that. So there's got to be some type of accountability that goes with it, whether you agree with it or not.
Right.
You can agree to disagree, but you have to at least do that.
Kind of play the game.
Now, it seems harder now for people too, because there's so many. I mean, this just happened to be somebody saying something, but it seems like they're always out to get people doing something wrong. Whether you're a politician doing something sexual, it's like they're out to get you, and we're kind of like a gotcha country now.
Where the access is just unbelievable. I mean, you know, if you're out on and TMZ gets you doing something, you know, no matter what you do with your mouth, it can be dubbed into something. Like,
right.
Everybody has access constantly to people, and it's a frenzy. There's a frenzy, and I think it's really difficult.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was hard to get scandal out there. like years ago.
Yeah.
They could cover it a little bit easier.
It was yeah. How did they do it in the 70s or 80s? It was really tough.
It's interesting because I was recently just on the Tonys and I had a huge debacle. Like I live television. I thought I was having a stroke because I was saying something, but I was reading something else, and I started to stutter, and I didn't do my intro, and we hadn't rehearsed it, and they threw it at me at the last minute. And I was trying to be a good sport, and I called my husband and I said, I don't know what to do. I just made a fool of myself in front of the whole Broadway community, and I'm a professional. I knew what I was doing, but it was a series of things that made me mess up, but I took it hard because I don't like to mess up. And he said, you know what? Curse. He said, if you get up there and curse, you'll get bleeped, and that'll be a bigger story. And it was the psychology behind it was fascinating to me because it's exactly what happened. And so I got up there and I thought I need to regain this, and the idea of me saying a bad word was everybody was in such up in arms, and it fascinated me because it was the biggest story.
What a brilliant point by him.
But like
your husband's pretty smart.
And he's so bright. Like right. He's bright about all of that. But he just he understood the psychology behind it. And I thought after the fact, after I sort of regained my footing, I thought, wow, that's really interesting. Like, really, that's noteworthy. Me getting up there saying a bad word.
What did you say?
And did you say that?
I did. I just said.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and it was one of those things where I knew I would get bleeped. And so I feel a little bad that it was not as off the cuff. But,
fine.
But at the same time, I was like, you know what? This is a survival business. Like,
yeah.
You survive because you're the only one out there. But the fact that was news, I thought, wow, this is how fascinating,
What'd you say? You don't have to...
Oh no, I just said shit.
Shit. Okay.
I just said, I thought it was going to be edited, and then I realized shit, it's live, and then I, kind of covered my mouth, and they're like, oh,
she didn't just do that.
Are they giving us the rap?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you are.
They're gonna yank her out of here.
Oh, Brooke has to go. All right. AddamsFamilyMusical.com, ADDAMS Family Musical. This Tuesday, you can is her first live show, and I found out about this week, and I'm actually really going to go see it. I will. I absolutely will.
It's a good date night. You guys will have.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Not good.
Oh, no.
Not good, Brooke. Not good. You have any friends, maybe?
Okay,
please.
now I know.
She's got some yoga friends.
Yeah, they don't have to be.
Some juice yoga
Yeah,
friends.
anybody. They can be like 1/5 as attractive as you. They don't have to be on your level. Just someone that might pair up well with me. Low self-esteem.
The yoga's working for Brooke, by the way.
Fantastic.
Not to embarrass you, but you're all right.
All right. It's
all right.
That's a very good comment to give Brooke Shields. You're all right. All right. All right, Brooke.
She's beautiful, and she's the yoga's working, and doing great for her.
And once again, we didn't blow it. We didn't screw up.
No, we didn't. I think she might come back for a third time.
Yes.
I will.
And
third time's a charm. I think we'll get it.
The Addams Family on Broadway, Brooke Shields, this Tuesday, all through the summer.
Great. Brooke Shields, everyone.
Thank you.
What was the last word that was said today? That ought to hold the little fuckers.